Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. In June, Invesco announced the launch of 2 new ETFs that capture timely technology themes, biotech and semiconductors. Joining me for our weekly segment with Invesco to discuss is Reyna, Head of Thematic and Specialty Product Strategy at Invesco. Rene, let's focus on the semiconductor ETF for this segment. It's called the Invesco Nasdaq Semiconductor ETF, ticker SoXQ, named SoXQ. Why is now the time to launch a semiconductor fund?
Yeah, sure, Jill, and great to be back this week. Semiconductors are an essential theme in technology. And I think what we've seen in the marketplace today is just a strong demand and limited supply. And so a lot of this stimulation of growth has really come on the backdrop of the pandemic. So think of increased utilization of video games, for example, computers, which we haven't seen in quite some time. So all the microprocessors is an example. And what you have is a catalyst for growth. And so we do see semiconductors in this secular growth trend. I mean, if we look back since 2009, for example, we've seen revenues up well over 100%. And we think this story of growth and innovation is going to continue. At Invesco, we had an opportunity to expand our product line offering. We have innovative technology ETFs. We have an additional semiconductor ETF. But this was a great opportunity to take advantage of the index that became available, the PHLX Semiconductor Index. And we saw this as a great opportunity to bring another offering to the investor marketplace.
So remind us what index it tracks and what's the methodology for the ETF?
Sure. So the ETF tracks the PHLX Semiconductor Index. This is a widely followed index, has a track record of over 28 years. It's pretty straightforward. It owns 30 of the largest companies within the semiconductor space. It is a modified market cap weighting. So top holdings, top 5 are capped at 8%, and then the remaining are capped at 4%, and it is rebalanced quarterly. What's interesting about this particular portfolio, something we're doing a little different, is just around cost and pricing. So the cost of this ETF is 19 basis points. However, through December 17th, we're offering a fee waiver of 19 basis points. So effectively, there's no expense ratio on this particular ETF through December 17th. And again, it goes to 19 basis points after that. So just a great way to access this semiconductor or technology thing.
What type of investor is SoXQ appropriate for?
Yeah, so we look at the semiconductor space as a sub-industry. It's part of the broader technology space. So for investors looking for ways to add growth to their portfolio, we'll generally see something like semiconductor as a satellite type holding. But I think for investors who are recognizing these trends for demand in the semiconductor space, and instead of trying to make a decision around which one to pick, NVIDIA, AMD, for example, why not just own the basket of the diversified portfolio? And so we believe this ETF is great for investors who are looking to add exposure to the semiconductor theme, and probably better suited as a satellite type position. And the low cost fee structure that exists, really makes this a compelling way to access this particular thing.
And finally, why partner with Nasdaq on this launch?
So Nasdaq's been a great partner of ours. When we think of Nasdaq, we think of innovation. We think of our legacy partnership, the Qs, for example, we have with Nasdaq. And so it was a really an easy decision to continue to extend that partnership. As I mentioned earlier, once this index became available, we really saw as an opportunity to partner again with Nasdaq. And we're excited for this particular recent launch. And again, we think the cost opportunity is very competitive, and we look forward to future engagement from Nasdaq.
All right, Rene, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.